You haven't mentioned it once.
No. I'm trying to see how long I can go without... Of course, I've got an ear-to-ear smile on my face.
And you're humming Hail to the Victor's Valiant. Outside of that, nothing. Kick taken at the 3 by Shane Wasden. And he brings it back out to the 23-yard line. And from there will Auburn begin its first drive. The tackle is made by Brian Davis. And here comes Reggie Slack to guide the Auburn offense. At the 24-yard line, junior, recruited out of Milton, Florida. And with Reggie, he's got James Joseph, who started the season as the tailback, now the fullback, and Danley is the primary running back. Tillman and Waygan, a couple of very good receivers, and Walter Reeves, an excellent tight end. Jim Thompson, one of the best in the country, and Ed King, an outstanding freshman. To the 30-yard line, it's Stacy Danley for a gain of about 7, making it 2nd and 3. And the Florida State defense, so much made about their offensive prowess, but defensively they've done the job rather well this year. Hagen's in the middle in the 3-man front. None of the names really stand out, but it's a very cohesive unit. Thompson, Hayes, Smith, and Hadley are the linebackers. Those Sanders are unrelated. Dion, of course, is the All-American and figures to be a very high draft choice. This is Danley, and he runs right into big number 36, the linebacker Kelvin Smith, who meets him at the line of scrimmage and pushes him back. Third down.
Kelvin Smith is the best of that linebacking crew. He's a sophomore, and they're going to get a lot more out of him. But this is one violent collision right here. Boy, and he just shoots the gap, works inside between the right guard and the right tackle, and an excellent job of reading it. Danley has absolutely no opportunity to even make it back to the line of scrimmage. A lot of pressure now on the Auburn offense. Their defense is reeling a bit. They'd really help themselves out to get a couple first downs.
3rd and 5 from the 29-yard line. No flag. And it's intercepted at the 43-yard line by Stan Shiver. And he takes it back to the 33. And this game for Florida State beginning similarly as flags go down. There's a scuffle after the interception. Last year, turnovers did Auburn in against Florida State, including an interception early on by Stan Shiver.
That one, of course, wound up 34-6 Florida State on 6 turnovers, I believe it was. But it was a nightmare for Pat Dye, and this is not shaping up too well.
It's a dead ball foul. It's a personal foul on Auburn.
And so the interception, of course, stands because it's a dead ball foul, and they'll march off 15 more.
But watch something on this play. This is Stacy Danley right here, who's going to run an out pattern. I want you to watch him as we roll the tape, because this is where Reggie Slack should have gone with the football. He makes a poor decision. Look at Danley, how wide open he is, and Danley goes downfield and throws right into the teeth of the coverage. Florida State made a mistake. Danley was wide open and Slack didn't see it. Never saw Stan Shiver.
So there's Slack, and next to him is Pat Sullivan, who's the offensive assistant. He coaches the quarterbacks. Pat, the 1971 Heisman Trophy winner, is the Auburn quarterback.
And what he's saying to the young quarterback, let's just settle down now, the junior quarterback. That's okay. We'll get another shot at it. Well, remember, one of the things Pat Dye told us yesterday about Reggie Slack, it was that nothing seems to bother him. Reminded Pat Dye a little bit of the snake, Kenny Stabler, when he was at Alabama. No matter what happened, he never got flustered. Slack's going to need it now.
And the defense will have to stiffen now as Ferguson hits number 80, Reggie Johnson, the tight end, for a first down. And it will be 1st and goal. They'll spot the ball at the 3-yard line. But it may be coming back. There's a flag down at the 24-yard line. It will come back holding.
Boy, did Reggie Johnson lower his shoulder at the end of that run, or what?
Holding on the offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Instead of 1st and goal, it will now be 1st and 20 from the 28-yard line.
You know, one thing Florida State has established is the run. And watch this now. This is what we were talking about a moment ago. Reggie Johnson. John Wiley, number 9, is the guy that comes up and tries to put the lick on Reggie Johnson. And whoa.
On 1st and 20 now, it's Smith moving to the outside and taking it to the 26-yard line. Carlo Cheatham comes up to make the tackle after a pickup of about 3.
But Florida State, having established they can run the ball as they did in that first series so easily, they basically were thought to be a team that would come in here throwing the ball against the defensive unit, against the run by Auburn. Now they can start to think a lot of different things. They can think play pass. Auburn's got to be just a little bit confused. They got to consider run as we look at their Outland Trophy winner, Tracy Rocker. They'll be a little hesitant because they know that Florida State can now run it.
2nd and 17 as Ferguson swings it outside to Lawrence Dawsey, and Dawsey is taken down at the 20-yard line. It will be 3rd down and 12. Morris and Wiley converge on the tackle.
Watch the way Florida State, all their receivers and running backs finish off their play. They get the football, and then everything is going forward, shoulders down, aggressively fighting for another 2 feet, an extra yard, or whatever. This is an aggressive football team. Offensively, you hear a lot about it's always the defensive guy that does all the hitting. Look at the way Florida State offensively has been hitting the last 2 or 3 plays.
And did you see those numbers on Dawsey? 18 catches during the regular season, 9 for touchdowns. 3rd and 11, and Smith is stopped after a gain of 1 by Benji Rowland. And that's not unusual. Bobby Bowden was saying yesterday, we like to run off times on 3rd and long. They run here, but to no avail, and the field goal unit will come in.
I think we'll now see one of a selection of field goal kickers that Florida State employs. You know, we've seen some imaginative play calling by Bobby Bowden, and this is the first play all day long that was less than that. 3rd and 11, just challenging this Auburn defense right where they are the strongest, right up the middle. I don't care how much success you've had on 3rd and 11. That's a tough call.
Phil Mason comes in to attempt a 36-yard field goal. And the kick is good.
Mason, the long field goal kicker. They have a medium arrangement, and they have one for the extra points.
And 2 scoring drives early on for Florida State. 5:57 to go. First quarter, it's 10-0 Seminoles in New Orleans.
There's a special place inside our hearts for people that we know. Friendships that have lasted, children as they grow. There were ways to wrap up laughter and keep it souvenirs. We'd always have a pocket full to share through all the years. Now for all the times you brought a smile, turn a grown-up to a child. These feelings we've known from the start. America's always known us by.
Funny thing about this game, Florida State came in as a 6-point favorite to the surprise of a lot of people. It's surprising in as much as Auburn, during the course of the 11-game regular season, had allowed an average of only 7 points a game. And here they come in as a 6-point dog.
Funny thing how those those guys aren't wrong very often.
Not so far.
Wasn't Pat Dye said, I can't remember the last time we were a 6-point underdog. Kind of licking his chops when he said that.
And right now they are down by 10 early on. 5:57 to go in the first quarter.
Florida State was offside.
And a flag goes down. It's taken at the 9-yard line by Wasden. And this amounts to a free run back for Auburn. And they will take the play, I'm sure. Good run back. He's run out of bounds by Andrews near midfield.
I think they might decline it.
Yep.
Wasden, one of those fine wide receivers with the blazing speed. Got up there, found a gap, and took it to the outside.
Offside on the kicking team.
And they'll spot it at the 42-yard line, and that's where Auburn will begin its next drive. And we'll begin another season of bowling. Chris Schenkel and Bo Burton will be there in the San Francisco Bay Area for the ARC Pinole Open, the Pro Bowlers Tour, back on ABC next Saturday. And then ABC's Wide World of Sports 1989 debut features the World Challenge of Champions from Paris. And you'll see Brian Boitano, Dorothy Hamill, and some of the world's top figure skaters this weekend. Reggie Slack on first down has it knocked down. And it's knocked down by Odell Higgins. He's the nose guard and a converted linebacker.
And really a frustrated linebacker. Odell Higgins went round and around with Bobby Bowden for a couple of years, really wanting to play linebacker, not wanting to get down in that 4-point stance and grunt and growl with everyone else up on the line of scrimmage. But Bobby, after 2 years of saying, I'd like you to do it, finally told Odell Higgins, you're going to do it. And he's a good one.
2nd and 10. On the delay, this is Danley. Moving up to the 46-yard line. He is stopped there by Felton Hayes. It'll be 3rd down and 6. Steve Gabbard also in on the tackle.
Danley became the starter tailback for Auburn at the middle of the season. He's had 581 yards in the last 5 games, but came into the season with a very sore knee, and he finally became the starter. The running game for Auburn really has picked up. He's had big games the last couple of games to wind up the season. 172 yards against Georgia and then 97 against Florida. He can move it.
3rd and 6 from the 46. Slack throwing to the 49, short of the first down. Greg Taylor making the catch, but he is tackled at the 49-yard line, and they are a yard short of the first down, and Stan Shiver made the tackle that staved off the first down.
And I don't see the Auburn punt team streaking out onto the field yet. You know, I think back to the Super Bowl when Denver got off to that 10-0 start over the Washington Redskins, and we started talking about what was important for Washington at the time was just get some first downs. Don't think points, just get first downs, and that's what the Auburn offense needs to do, and this is a critical measurement for them. And they are well short.
4th down.
Well short.
4th and a full yard with the ball at the 49-yard line.
And no punt team coming onto the field. Early, tough decision for Pat Dye.
This is where
he's going to go for it.
This is when you have a lot of confidence in your defensive football team.
Well, we talked about Dye's relatively conservative nature, relative certainly to Bowden, but here he is taking a big gamble early in the game.
A huge gamble. I'm very surprised with this.
Interesting, this call taking so long in the huddle. You know that in numerical terms, Dan, they usually take a lot longer if you're going to lay out any kind of a passing thing. Could they be going to the play action?
It's possible, but rarely out of this offensive set. One hand grenade to get everybody.
Or maybe just trying to draw them offside. No, they run the play, and it's going to be real close. Vincent Harris carries, and it will be a first down.
Gutsy call and a super effort up front by Auburn.
Well, you know, one of the things Auburn did was to go to an unbalanced line and then run back to the weak side, and I think that fooled Florida State. Here's the center right here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 linemen to that side, only 2 here, and watch how the ball carrier works back to the weak side. And I think that took Florida State by surprise.
From the 47-yard line. Slack lofting it. A flag goes down. The pass incomplete, and we'll see about the call.
We might have a lineman downfield.
Well, if he'd have been a fast lineman, he could have outrun that pass.
The pass interference on the offense carries a loss of down.
So that'll push Auburn back. That was an amazing play, Dan. When you think about it, that's almost the type of play you'd find in Bobby Bowden's playbook instead of Pat Dye, with the unbalanced line, run it to the weak side in a very critical early game situation.
And I know that it's easier to make that decision if you're Pat Dye when you have that great defense that you can give them, you know, a tough field position. Let's see if we can see it. There's the push right there by Walter Reeves, the tight end. And the flag, you can see, that's where the call was. I can only assume that Reeves didn't think that the ball was in the air at the time. You know, that's just a legal block if the ball has not been thrown. But when the ball's in the air, then it becomes offensive pass interference.
Or he could have taken a peek at Slack rolling out, thinking Slack was going to turn it upfield, because Slack often will do that. A good athlete, good runner.
Meanwhile, a big penalty against Auburn. Loss of down and 15 yards to make it 2nd and 25. It's dropped. A fumble by Danley. The ball is still loose, and the Seminoles have it. Odell Hagan, who knocked down a slack pass on the first play of this drive, recovers the fumble.
And I think this is a situation where Stacy Danley just doesn't look the ball into his hands. It's a good pitch. And Frank, how many times have you taken this pitch out? You really do have to watch it come into your hands.
When they pitch it exactly right, that's when you have a tendency to look upfield, see where you're going to go with it, and you hit it right on the head. You saw him take his eyes off the ball. It was laid out there absolutely perfectly. He tried to recover it, lost it, and big play for Hagan.
That was a good pitch by Reggie Slack. It was right on the hands of Stacy Danley. Sometimes the easiest things are the ones that hurt you.
Ferguson, a short drop and a quick pass and a first down. The catch is made by Anthony. A flag goes down at the line of scrimmage as Anthony takes it to the 10. There's a marker down back at the 29.
And Anthony had some kind of a second effort, but did you see the pop that Shan Morris put on him at the conclusion of that play? Anthony's right up.
Penalty against Auburn. Play count.
Offside on the defense. They're lining up offside. They are in the neutral zone.
There's Shan Morris, and boy, does he put a hit on Terry Anthony at the conclusion of this play, but not until Anthony, with a good second effort, picks up a lot of extra yardage.
Yeah, it's just a miracle that Shan Morris is even playing this game. He's had 2 major knee operations, missed all of last season with one after hurting it again. Had an operation in '86 and had another one at the beginning of last season. But he's really put the hit on.
And a fake reverse. Smith keeps and takes it to the 4. So it'll be 2nd down and goal. And Auburn may be having nightmares at this point. We talked about these two teams meeting last year. Auburn turned the ball over early and often, 6 times total in the game. Florida State routed them 34-6, and tonight Auburn's already turned it over twice.
Auburn's not the only ones having nightmares. Yep, Pat Dye, I'm sure, can hardly believe this is happening. The one constant you can count on if you're the head coach of the Auburn Tigers is, I'm going to get solid play out of my defensive team. I'm not going to be out of a ball game. Keep in mind, their only loss was 7-6.
Smith on 2nd and goal with a Roger Craig move takes it to the 2. It'll be 3rd and goal. And for Smith, he's coming back to a place where he enjoyed his best success of the season. When Florida State came in here early in the year to face Tulane, he ran for 212 yards, by far his best day of the year.
Big, strong running back, Sammy Smith. I was looking at a video of their final game against Florida, and he reversed his field, ran into his own offensive guard, 6'2", 265-pound Jason Kuipers, and just wiped him out and picked up another 10 yards.
3rd and goal, fake to Williams. And Ferguson throws, and it's dropped in the end zone by Reggie Johnson. He couldn't hold on. He was covered on the play by Staples.
Oh, well played that time by the Auburn defense, because they didn't give Ferguson the corner. I think Ron Stallworth is one of the guys involved there. He gets upfield and does not allow Craig Ogletree the other. Here it is right here. Look at Stallworth and look at Ogletree. Force Ferguson backwards. forced him to throw backwards. It's a heck of a throw, and in reality, probably should have been caught by Johnson for a touchdown. A sensational throw by Ferguson.
Super throw, off balance. He still got it in there, and it should have been caught.
Mason to attempt the field goal instead of fake. And the throw is knocked away in the end zone by Carlos Cheatham.
And if that throw has any pizzazz on it at all, that's an easy touchdown.
Brad Johnson was the holder, and he's a freshman quarterback. He's also a basketball player, and he lofted it into the end zone, but it hung.
He's trying to throw into the end zone to Dave Roberts, a sophomore tight end. Watch Roberts, number 83, in the back of the end zone. Look how wide open he is. But the ball is coming down like a punt, any velocity at all, and that's an easy touchdown for Florida State. An easy touchdown. Johnson just lofts a soft one, and that really cost Florida State the opportunity to score 7 more.
Reason number 12 to see your Nissan dealer before January 4th. The Nissan no money down first-time buyer plan makes it easy to drive away in a new Sentra. The Goodbye 88 celebration. See your Nissan dealer now. Reason number 3 to see your Nissan dealer before January 4th. Dealer cash incentives up to $3,000 can put you in a new Nissan in a hurry. The Goodbye 88 celebration. See your Nissan dealer now.
When you drive by the statues and memorials, you may start to cry. And there's a White House in this city, and we always get to choose the person who lives in it. There are over 4 million miles of roads in Alamo territory, all across America. And nationwide, Alamo's the only company that can give you all those miles for free, including the 1,100 miles in a city called Washington, in a district called Columbia, in a country we call ours.
The 5th Sugar Bowl. In 1939, a battle between TCU and Carnegie Tech. And Davey O'Brien of TCU capped his Heisman Trophy winning season with his touchdown pass to Derwood Horner, leading the Horned Frogs to a 15-7 win in New Orleans. Auburn with the ball. They're down 10-0, and let's check in with Lynn Swan.
Thank you, Alan, with Bo Jackson, who's watching his team play. Bo, Sammy Smith from Florida. How do you analyze his style?
Sammy Smith is the type of guy that goes out and he gives his all. He's a high runner, and that's going to work to our defense's advantage once they get going. But right now, Sammy is playing his type of game, where he can pick his hole. His line is doing a great job blocking for him. But one thing that I've noticed about Sammy is he carries the ball loose, and you can't do that.
What about your team?
Our team, it's hard to score points when you're turning the ball over. And we just got to regroup and go back out and try to put some points on the board before the half.
You've been in a bowl game like this before. Is it tough? Is the emotion too high?
Well, it's tough. It's tough. I don't know. You just have to go out and not worry about the fans, the bands, the other team. Just go out and do what you can to try to help your team.
Well, you're playing professional baseball. You play professional football. What are you doing with all your free time?
Just trying to raise 2 sons.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, Al.
All right, thank you, Lynn. We saw Harris pick up 2, take it to the 4, 2nd and 8 as the Tigers look for breathing room, and James Joseph gives them some breathing room. He's close to a first down. He's out of bounds close to the marker at the 12-yard line.
Kind of waiting for Lynn to ask Bo if we might see this summer in the Tour de France.
As Bo says in that commercial, that Tour de France thing.
I'd ride in it, but I can't find a bicycle with a seat big enough.
You may be announcing in it.
I'd pay to see that one.
Oh, no.
You'd need an outrigger.
No, I can't. Al, I think that's clearly got your name.
No. I'm busy this summer.
Dan is our man of the fisticuffs.
Maybe.
That's a first down for the Auburn Tigers.
And that is some king-size breathing room. And that is a look of relief, if there can be such a thing, on the face of Pat Dye down 10-0. But A first down has to look awful good to this beleaguered coach. Boy, what a rough start by the Tigers.
From the 12-yard line, a minute and a half to go, first quarter, Florida State on top, 10-0. And this is Joseph who takes it out to the 17. Again, Joseph began the season as the tailback, and then they moved him to fullback when Danley came on and was healthy and became the prime back. And so Joseph can run out of either spot, and as you see, a 6.2 average is great.
It's better than great. It's phenomenal. It's sensational. And you run out of superlatives when you start talking about a running back who has almost 700 yards on the regular season and averages over 6 yards a carry. That's extraordinary.
And he handled the change so easily, too.
And they have him at tailback here, and he takes the toss, and he picks up the first down. So an interesting thing here, after Danley had fumbled, Dye moves Joseph back to tailback on this drive, and we've got a marker down at the end of the play here.
And a very late, this was well after the play.
Personal foul on the offense.
Oh, man, that hurts. Don't go over to the sidelines. He who committed that foul and confront Pat Dye. I'd stay on this field for a long time.
The play had resulted in a first down.
Personal foul on the offense. It's going to be first down. It'll be first down approximately 22 and a half. 22 and a half.
In other words, the play stands, and then it's marked from the spot of the foul.
And that's Walter Reeves, the tight end, who just gets up and takes a good shove. And wow, I guess that's a personal foul. That's not going to get called in professional football. It takes a little bit more than that to draw the flag in the NFL.
You know, as always happens, though, Walter Reeves got a shot before he turned around and delivered one, and just as he did, the official was looking him right in the eyes, and he got the flag.
Lee Mark Sellers comes in to spell him.
He got the hook as well.
Yep, a temporary one. First and 23, and Slack has it intercepted at the 37-yard line by Dedrick Dodge. 3 Auburn turnovers.
Well, Dedrick Dodge just plays that the way a free safety should. React to the quarterback, react to the football, close on the football, and make the catch.
Deja vu of 1987. You turn it over, you're going to get out of a ball game so early, and particularly a team like Auburn, they have a tough time getting back into it. 1 foot in college, and not only for a reception, but for anyone intercepting.
Dedrick Dodge, he loves this stadium, as does Sammy Smith. When Florida State played Tulane here this year, he had 2 interceptions, so he's at home. First down, Seminoles at the 38-yard line. And this time, it is Dexter Carter who backs up Smith, who carries to the 35, a gain of 3.
And you hate to single out Walter Reeves, but that penalty forces Auburn into that long passing situation. They've been keeping it on the ground, not wanting to throw that long ball, and the penalty forces them to do it.
And in this USF&G Sugar Bowl, the first quarter comes to an end in New Orleans. All Florida State Seminoles on top, 10-0.
Shearson Lehman Hutton, January 1989, where we stand on stocks. Contrary to popular opinion, 1988 was not a bad year. Stocks returned over 16%, outperforming all cash investments. We believe the stock market will rise in 1989, again outperforming money funds and CDs. Our recommendation, buy stocks for the long term. Shearson Lehman Hutton.
They're back.
Oh, that's nice.
All your old favorites. Back for the big double cheeseburger reunion at McDonald's.
And loving it.
We're reuniting the taste of our big double cheeseburger and...
Would you believe?
A new large order of hot golden French fries.
Let's commence to eat.
So hurry, McDonald's big double cheeseburger reunion won't last.
Don't tell me this won't last.
It won't last.
I asked you not to tell me that.
A6, hurry and you'll make it.
Delta Airlines ticket agent Sam Singletary knows how to get people moving.
Mr. Franklin, Franklin, your bag.
But sometimes he has to show off a few moves of his own. The kind of moves that made him a first-string halfback. Sam Singletary shares a feeling with everyone at Delta. He loves what he's doing, and it shows.
We're out to fly,
It's the kid.
and it shows.
The night has always brought out the contemplative side of man.
Why am I here? Where am I going? Will they have Michelob when I get there? I'm not going if they don't have Michelob.
We started 5 cars with one 2-year-old Die-Hard battery and 1 car at 30 below after 8 hours in a cold room. Today's Die-Hard with power to start your car and a whole lot more.
The USF&G Sugar Bowl. Brought to you by Dodge Cars and Trucks. And by USF&G Insurance. USF&G covers the USA.
In New Orleans, Al Michaels with Frank Gifford, Dan Deerdorf, and Lynn Swan. We talked about Auburn's defense. There it is for the season. They averaged yielding 218 yards a game. Tonight already 119 in the first quarter. They yield an average of 7 points a game. Already tonight 10. They led the nation in rushing defense, 63 yards a game. Tonight, thanks mainly to Sammy Smith, 71 yards after 15 minutes.
One would surmise if these stats continue that Auburn may not win the game.
Yeah, one might surmise that. 2nd and 7. Ferguson. And he dumps it off, and he finds number 13, Dexter Carter. And Carter fights his way to the 25-yard line, absorbing some hits. He's finally stopped by Smokey Hodge, and a first down.
Bobby Bowden said that Dexter Carter might play a major role tonight. He is a very versatile back, good running back, and also a fine receiver out of the backfield.
That pass from Ferguson didn't look like much, more or less a dying quail as it came in over the top, but that's the touch he needed on it. It only had to travel about 8 or 9 yards, and Ferguson bought the extra time getting out of the pocket, and Carter stayed alive.
And Carter bulled his way for the extra yardage. The ball is at the 25 on first down. Ferguson hits Carter again, and Carter picks up 7 as he's taken down by John Wiley at the 18-yard line. Opening minute of the second quarter. 10-0 Florida State, and there is the Auburn mascot, War Eagle.
That is not a hawk. That is not a crow. A crow. That is not anything else. That is the War Eagle.
Not a groundhog either.
You know, their name is a tiger, and there's quite a story that goes with this eagle. I'm sure that we're going to get around to it a little later on.
No, but the Seminoles right now are what counts. They are in control of this ballgame.
2nd and 3. Carter again to the 10-yard line. So as they rest Smith, who had the sensational first quarter, he is spelled by Carter, and Carter comes out looking like Sammy Smith.
That's what Bobby Bowden said about him. We've seen him running the football. We've seen him on the receiving end of it. And here is Tracy Rocker, the Outland Trophy winner, and most certainly a high first-round draft pick in the pro. And that time, they blew him out of there. Pat Cumberland, the All-American offensive tackle for Florida State, working over on that right side.
Well, there's nothing that an offensive lineman enjoys more than a lead. And right now, that's a luxury that the Florida State offensive line is enjoying. They better get this play off. And Ferguson, seeing that he's not going to do it, has to call a timeout. They were down to 2 seconds on the 25-second clock.
And that's their second timeout. It'll be 1st and goal when we come back to New Orleans. 13-19 to play in the half.
Reason number 22 to see your Nissan dealer before January 4th. For nearly $450 less than Toyota, you can own the bigger, more powerful 2-wheel drive Nissan Hardbody. The Goodbye 88 celebration. See your Nissan dealer now. Reason number 3 to see your Nissan dealer before January 4th. Dealer cash incentives up to $3,000 can put you in a new Nissan in a hurry. The Goodbye 88 celebration. See your Nissan dealer now.
We help protect your plans and dreams. Our agents are the key. Together we make America
Boitano, Hamilton, Thomas, Hamill. Figure skating's brightest stars compete Saturday on the return of ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Bobby Bowden, the native of Alabama. He enrolled at the University of Alabama as a freshman and then transferred to Howard University, now Samford. And his son is the current head coach at Samford. Bobby, the head coach at FSU, they lead 10-0. First and goal just inside the 10. And Dexter Carter takes it to the 4, but a marker is down at the 9-yard line. Smokey Hodge makes the tackle. And our referee, John Sophie, will tell us.
Illegal shift. We have 2 men moving at the same time.
Well, Bowden likes to use a lot of trick plays. Works fine in Canada, but not here.
Right. Where Bobby was getting the word from upstairs as to who was the guilty party.
Communications have improved greatly on the collegiate level. Back in the old days, you didn't get chewed out until the next day when they sat down and watched the film. Now it's instantaneous.
And sometimes a replay on it, right in front of all of America.
First and goal at the 15-yard line. Florida State with the ball. Auburn has turned it over 3 times. And the Seminoles lead 10-0. On a draw, they give it to Dane Williams. He's the man who scored the touchdown to culminate that early drive, and he takes it to about the 12. It'll be second and goal.
And Dane Williams is very close to coming out of that pile at the line of scrimmage and maybe having a clear alley to the goal line.
Draw plays were very effective in Florida State's win in 1987, and when we talked to Pat Dye yesterday, he said he has gone back several times and looked at the films, and it's obvious that Bobby Bowden has also gone back because it was a very effective play against Auburn in '87, and we've seen it several times tonight.
On second and goal, Williams takes it to about the 9-yard line. It'll now be third and goal for Florida State.
Well, I don't know how far down this Auburn defense can reach, but now is the time to do it. They have been put in an awkward position the entire first quarter and now into the second quarter, but this is a group that has been there before, and over the course of a season, when you only allow 7 points a game, there is a tremendous camaraderie and pride that is built up, and now is the time for that to surface, because a touchdown here just might be fatal.
Key play, third and goal. Ferguson had time and then runs out of it. Tracy Rocker gets the sack at the 14-yard line.
Well, we talked about all these guys up front being all SEC and all Americans, but that's a coverage sack. That's a sack where there's nobody to throw to. There is late penetration by the defensive line.
Right here, Ferguson looking into the end zone, looking for the back out of the backfield, Carter and Terry Anthony. Rocker was even nailed at the line of scrimmage, got up, but you're right, good coverage, and it forces the field goal team onto the field.
31-yard attempt by Mason after the previous fake, and the kick is good. So in a way, a small victory of sorts for Auburn here, limiting them to 3 and staying within 2 touchdowns. 13-0, Florida State.
Owning a home or a brand new car can be a dream come true. And USF&G can help to protect and cover you. From the mountain's edge to the ocean's edge, we insure you every day. We protect what America's made of. We cover the USA.
It's been said Chrysler's LeBaron may be the most beautiful car to come out of an American design studio in over a decade. What hasn't been said is that it comes out with an intercooled 2.2 turbo with the security of 4-wheel disc brakes and a driver's airbag standard, and that it comes out doing 0 to 60 in 7.9 seconds. One other thing that hasn't been said, it comes out at a very attractive price.
Now with holiday savings, get $500 cash back on LeBaron.
The 1951 Sugar Bowl was a matchup between Kentucky and Oklahoma, and Paul Bear Bryant was the head coach at Kentucky. The legendary Bud Wilkinson, the head man of the Sooners. Babe Perilli of the Wildcats threw a touchdown pass to Wilbur Jamerson, and Kentucky beat Oklahoma 13-7 to snap the Sooners' 31-game winning streak.
Most teams wear helmets with the manufacturer's name on the labeled on the front of the helmet. But the Seminoles, it says Knowles, obviously short for their team name. Except for one other player on their team, number 37, Stan Shivers. His says Rest in Peace, R.I.P. And obviously, the Seminoles have put their label on the Tigers so far in this ballgame.
I'll tell you why they do that, Lynn. A lot of every helmet manufacturer puts their name right in that space right there, and a lot of equipment managers don't like to give these guys free advertising, so they go ahead and cover it up.
One thing about Shiver, he's had a few wide receivers resting in peace after his hits.
They say he hits like an Auburn player. The big hitter in that secondary for Florida State.
Richie Andrews to kick off for the Seminoles. It's been all Florida State to this point. Auburn's had the ball 3 times, and they've turned it over 3 times. Shane Wasden from the 2 is met head-on at the 21-yard line, and the tackle is made by Lawrence Dawsey. Meanwhile, as far as Auburn is concerned offensively, look at this. 3 plays, an interception, 5 and a fumble, 5 and another pickoff.
That is ugly with a capital U.
That's all the destruction that's been wrought. They're lucky to get out.
That's just about as bad as it gets.
But they're lucky to be 13-zip.
They really are. It could be a great deal worse.
And so are we.
Yep. First down from the 21-yard line. Here's Joseph. And Joseph fights his way out to the 29-yard line, where it'll be 2nd and 2. He is stopped there by Leroy Butler, number 6. So after that Danley fumble, it's been Joseph on the last 2 series as the tailback. And now
Danley's been remaining in the game, Al. He's just been playing a wingback position with Joseph moving back to the tailback position. And one of the problems Danley had when he was a youngster last year as a freshman was fumbling a lot. Pat Dye told us how they used to work after practice.
And there was Danley lining up in the slot. Joseph breaks the tackle, and he fumbles, but out of bounds up at the 37-yard line. That's a first down.
Finish off that story, and is Joseph injured? And just when he's starting to get the feel of how things are working back there at tailback, it looks like James Joseph is a little reluctant to run back out on the field. He's walking a little gingerly, and I guess this will force Danley back to the tailback position. Boy, Joseph was just starting to go, too.
He's had a knee problem in the past, and that could very well be a troublesome knee again.
Joseph had what amounted to a broken kneecap, which he suffered last year. Now Danley off the left side takes it out to the 42-yard line. He is stopped there by Eric Hayes and Felton Hayes.
Well, one thing about it, this is clearly the best that the Auburn offense has looked yet tonight. I mean, this is their most solid drive, if you want to call it that, only being at their own 42, but it's still by far and away their best.
And the defense has stiffened twice in a row now. They were able to knock down that 4th down fake field goal attempt on Florida State's previous possession, and then on their last possession, they held them to a field goal. So the defense at least keeping them in the game as the offense tries to get things started. And this is Vincent Harris, and his 2nd carry of the night is a minimal gain. It'll be 3rd down and about 6.
Vincent Harris opened the season at fullback and had 230-some yards in the first 6 games as the starting fullback. He only carried the football 5 times in the last 5 games, as most of the work was done by James Dilson and Stacy Danley. But now with Joseph out of there, we might see a lot of Harris.
3rd and 6. Auburn from the 42. Florida State ahead 13-0. Reggie Slack has time, needs more, and comes up about 3 yards short of the first down. He's run out of bounds by Felton Hayes and Odell Higgins. And so Auburn will have to punt.
Again, just dynamite coverage downfield. He had plenty of time, a lot of time.
Unfortunately for Reggie Slack, he was forced to scramble out to his right when he had flooded the left side of the field with all his receivers. And so Reggie has to roll to the far sideline and has no one in a position to come back.
And
there's Neon Dion.
Dion as in Neon Sanders, primetime Sanders, but they kick it away from him. He leads the nation. In punt returns, he figures he might as well get in the block anyway. Anything to get on prime time.
That is his first call of the night, I believe.
The All-America defensive back, and we'll get into his story as the game moves along. 8:38 to go in the first half.
Created to slip the bounds of nature and powered by an unrelenting force within. Intercooled, turbocharged Dodge Daytona Shelby.
Now, get up to $500 cash back or special low financing on Daytonas in stock.
You know, some things in life are as inevitable as the tide. I always thought there really wasn't anything I could do about my hair loss until I talked to my doctor. He diagnosed my problem. We talked about the treatment options. It's good to have the medical facts. And the fact is, there may be some hope for me.
See your doctor if you're concerned about hair loss.
Another look now. Deion Sanders after the punt out of bounds.
Terrell Crawford, one of the Auburn linebackers, who's just minding his own business and gets a little kiss on the cheek from Deion. That's when things are going bad, down 13-0, and just stand around and somebody wants to stamp you one.
From the 28-yard line, the up back, the first man through for a gain of about 5, as the ball carrier for the first time tonight is Victor Floyd. Just to follow up on Sanders, I know a lot of you have read about him. He was involved in that altercation in a Fort Myers department store over the Christmas holidays. Originally a felony charge against him. It was lowered to a misdemeanor. He talked it over with Bobby Bowden. Bowden got all sides of the story and elected to let Sanders play after his eligibility for this game at a particular point over the Christmas holidays was very much in question.
You could see all the players around him there. They were looking at the big screens here in the Superdome, seeing Deion Sanders on camera.
2nd and 5, and Smith gets pushed back. Nowhere to go. And that's that defense that we've heard about. Craig Ogletree, number 94, leading the charge. And it'll be 3rd down and 6.
A lot of top draft picks right across that front line. Ron Stallworth, who came on strong at the end of the season at right defensive end, number 92. He had a great game against Alabama. 4 sacks, 1 for a safety. Benji Rowland, the nose tackle, he could go high. And Tracy Rocker, no question, he'll probably be in the top 5 or 10.
From the 32-yard line, another fake reverse. The flag is thrown. Smith picks up a yard or so. Ogletree is again in on the tackle. And John Sophie with the call here.
Holding on the offense.
I believe that's against Pat Tomberlin, the right tackle, number 72 of Florida State. He's trying to block Tracy Rocker, and Rocker takes a big inside move, and Tomberlin has to come back to the inside, and I think in reality ends up tackling him. Look at Tomberlin go too far to the outside. There he comes back to the inside. He really didn't grab him. He really didn't come out, but if you're that umpire, you see him getting on the back of his leg. It looks like his arms wrapped around him. But a technical error at the beginning of that play by Tomberlin, reaching way too far to the outside.
And the penalty is declined because it makes it 4th down, and a low, wobbly short kick is taken by Wasden at the 32-yard line, and Wasden brings it back out to the 49.
Well, this is sensational field position for Auburn. Clearly the best they've had.
6:53 to go in the first half. 13-0, Florida State.
Next time you rent a car anywhere in the world, be sure to use Gold MasterCard, and you'll automatically be protected with Master Rental, the best car rental insurance any card offers. Should anything happen, we'll take care of you, pay for it, handle the paperwork. All you do is make one easy phone call anytime. That's simpler and better than American Express. Master Rental, from the world's #1 gold card, Gold MasterCard.
Introducing the all-new Plymouth Acclaim LX. To have V6 power, available room for 6, ultra-drive automatic transmission. To combine the best of all worlds takes a world beater. A world beater to satisfy the customer. The new Plymouth Acclaim LX proves the 9 most important words Plymouth knows.
Get ready for the pressure, the skill, the excitement as bowling's best roll in for the season premiere of ABC's Professional Bowlers Tour, Saturday.
Some Auburn fans, and they're used to coming to New Orleans because the Tigers played in the Sugar Bowl a year ago in the, I guess you'd call the infamous 16-16 tie against Syracuse.
Yeah, you wonder how many people in upstate New York aren't enjoying what's happening to the Auburn Tigers right now. A lot of bitter feelings after that time.
Pat Dye electing to go for a field goal at the end of the game. And this is Danley breaking one for about 10 and close to a first down as he gets to the 42. Eric Hayes in on the tackle.
Key block by James Joseph, who came back in at fullback to spring Danley. Fine block by Joseph. Lead back.
Good story we heard, Al, about Pat Dye, what the Syracuse people sent 1,000 ties down to Pat Dye, the head coach of Auburn, and he turned around and sold them.
He sold them, and the proceeds went to charity, or actually went, I believe, to the scholarship fund at Auburn.
Yeah, that's hardly charity.
Right.
In Pat Dye's mind, it is.
2nd and inches, and Danley with those inches and several yards as he takes it to the 32. He is stopped by Butler. First down, Tigers. .606 to go in the half. Pat Dye, we talked about his being an aide to Bear Bryant. Then he took his first head coaching job in the late 70s at East Carolina. Went to Wyoming. 1 year there. He would have stayed longer, except the Auburn job opened up. They offered it to him, and obviously he had to take it at that point in his career. Joseph at the 24-yard line.
That time Joseph got a key block from Danley, a super block by Danley, and these two are almost interchangeable. Both of them can play that tailback spot, switching around, and it was Danley with a terrific block.
How about the end of that play, though, where Joseph ends up on Corian Freeman, maybe the world's largest cornerback for Florida State. This guy's 225 pounds, 6'4", playing corner. There he is, number 10, and number 10 met number 10 at the end of that last play.
2nd and a long yard, closer to 2. Here's Joseph, and he takes it to the 22-yard line. I would say from our perspective here, he is just short of a first down. Meanwhile, if you're just picking us up along the way, 13-0 Florida State. Auburn turned the ball over 3 times on their first 3 possessions. And Auburn now has mounted a drive, and as they measure here, Auburn trying to keep the drive alive and trying very much to stay in the game, and their defense has stiffened the last 2 times Florida State has held the ball to keep them in the game. Just short. 3rd down upcoming.
It's been good work on the part of Auburn to stay in this because they could have really been blown out of this early on. Pat Dye was talking to his team, both offensively and defensively, as they came off on those first 3 series, and they have stayed in the game. They got that much for the first down to keep this drive alive. They get it on, get the conversion, and they're right back into a game in which they were being blown away in the first quarter.
Really very much the same scenario as when these 2 teams met last year. Auburn made all the mistakes early in the ball game. Florida State capitalized.
3rd and inches out of the power I, and those are going to be some hard-earned inches. Vincent Harris running right into Kelvin Smith, and let's see where they mark that forward progress.
Kelvin Smith plays that play exactly like you have to. You got to meet it in the air. You're going to stop it.
He'll measure again. I think he's got it.
Here's the key. Watch the two inside linebackers right here. They have to get over the top and meet the ball carrier. Just watch Kelvin Smith and Felton Hayes, how they get up in the air and they make contact on the Auburn side of the football with Vincent Harris. Credit Smith and Hayes. It's still a first down, but that is technically perfect the way you play short yardage if you're an inside linebacker.
And it's not all that easy to time it out.
No, it's not. And Vincent Harris, frankly, I think, was the beneficiary of a very good spot. I didn't even see him getting back to the line of scrimmage.
Neither did Bobby Bowden.
No. Smith and Hayes were clearly on the Auburn side of the football when they initiated contact.
First down from the 22. Danley seeking the hole, and it opens for a gain of 2 to the 20-yard line with 4:55 to go in the first half. Corey Sr., who is a freshman, makes the tackle.
I guess announcers will have fun with him for the next 4 years. I see even he's gone to the shades that are sweeping the NFL, everyone with their dark visor. It really does make a lot of sense when you consider, Frank, you played all those years, so did I, how many times you'd see a teammate get poked in the eye. If it keeps someone from getting a finger in the eye, well, worthwhile.
2nd and 9 from the 21-yard line. That's Freddie Wagand in motion. Fake toss. Slack on a roll. Slack throwing to the 5, and in for the touchdown is Walter Reeves.
Slack into the line of scrimmage, and Deion Sanders bought it too. Sold everyone on Florida State, and Sanders, the guy who ends up having to have the coverage on Reeves, is woefully out of it.
Win Lyle for the extra point. Ryan Schulman holding. The kick is good, and the Tigers are very much back in the game.
Well, it worked well for Florida State earlier, and now this game is a new football game. Auburn all fired up.
It all starts here with the fake into the line of scrimmage. The fake pitch, and Reggie Slack sold everyone on Florida State. You have to wonder, where's the contain? And Walter Reeves, who really just ran a simple out pattern, fooled Sanders.
You saw Sanders come back into the shot. He had bought the fake all the way. He's a very competitive football player. Sometimes he overplays different plays, and that's exactly what he did here. He bought the play. He was going to try to be on the other side of the field to help out. He got back late. Touchdown, Auburn, new football game.
Walter Reeves just gave Sanders a ride into the end zone.
A legend has been created. A better battery for the future. Better reserve power with up to 2 hours and 25 minutes. Better protection with a warranty backed by Napa that lasts over 6 years. The legend from Napa. A better battery.
Starting this Friday at Burger King, you can get 2. I said 2. Juicy flame broiled burgers. For a buck. We do it. That's right.
2 burgers for a buck.
We do it. Starting this Friday at Burger King.
With an 8-foot bed, South Dakota is all work. With a 3.9-liter V6, North Dakota is all play. The unique mid-size Dodge Dakota. 2 pickups for the price of 1.
Save up to $3,000 on selected trucks during the Big Dodge Truck Push.
Brian Boitano, Brian Orser, Debbie Thomas, Scott Hamilton. Figure skating greats ring in a new season on ABC's Wide World of Sports Saturday.
Well, earlier, a big penalty against Reeves, and he was chewed out by Dye, and now he's at the other end of a pass from Slack to get Auburn to within 6 at 13-7.
I like the play call by Pat Dye and his staff, though. They had been running the ball successfully. You have to give James Joseph, Stacy Danley, and Vincent Harris credit. They'd been slamming the ball up in there. Florida State was reeling a little bit, and then the beautiful play action, the fake toss, really sold everyone in a white uniform on the wrong play.
Johnson's kick for Auburn is taken at the 11-yard line by Dexter Carter, and Carter brings it out to the 25.
Let's look at it. Here's Deion Sanders. He's locked up with Walter Reeves all the way. Watch the way he bites on the fake pitch and then tries to get back in. He does a complete 360 right here. Whoa, Nelly. He knows there's a major problem. And Walter Reeves, there's the high tackle, and Sanders, who was outfoxed on the play to begin with, ends up short on both ends.
And what's a college football game without a whoa, Nelly, right?
I had to do it. Yep.
At the 25-yard line, first down, Florida State. And Ferguson, was his arm coming forward? Yes, incomplete pass. He was hit by Stallworth, simply an incomplete pass. Stallworth plays the other side from Tracy Rocker, so he doesn't get a lot of publicity. But when they double-team Rocker a lot, Stallworth does his thing.
And as you can see, he just draws the single blocker, as he's been doing that all year long as they double up over on the strong side of Tracy Rocker. And, of course, he has led this team, the Auburn team, in sacks with 9. That's 4 more than Rocker has.
And he had 4 of them against Alabama in the season finale. Smith, and they're able to bottle him up. 27-yard line. So Smith, who ran wild on that first drive, has been held in check since. Brian Smith takes the tackle.
And there go the burnt orange and navy pom-poms for the first time tonight. The Auburn fans are starting to get into it. This is the kind of defensive play they've seen all year. And if Auburn does get in a position where they crawl back in this football game, Bobby Bowden is going to look at 13 points out of those 3 turnovers and say, boy, that wasn't enough.
3rd and 8 from the 27-yard line. Ferguson trying to find the open man. It's picked off at the 37 by Smokey Hodge.
Was the intended receiver, and when we watch this on replay, you're going to see 4 Auburn Tigers within striking range of Terry Anthony.
And the key one, of course, Smokey Hodge, who has really come into his own this year. Quiet, reticent player for the past couple of years, and has exploded into an outstanding linebacker for Auburn. A great pickoff there. Good field position once again on the turnover.
First down, Auburn at the 25. Danley takes the toss, gives it to Freddie Wigand on a reverse. He can't get the block he needs, and he's thrown out of bounds. Back at the 30-yard line by John Hadley.
And Hadley, Al, saves Florida State's bacon, because that was going to be a touchdown if Hadley doesn't play that reverse well. Stay home, get upfield, don't let him to the outside. Superb play by John Hadley.
That's a loss of 4. It makes it 2nd down and 14 at the 29-yard line. 3:01 to play in the half.
That might have been a touchdown.
Slack to throw on 2nd and 14. And he hits Greg Taylor.
And there's a
flag goes down at the 21. Stan Shiver will be the man who's guilty of the penalty.
Face mask on the defense. 5 yards.
The inadvertent variety, only the 5-yard penalty. But we're going to see it clearly. Shiver really runs the risk of getting the flag for going to the head. You can see the elbow right up around the neck of Greg Taylor.
Shiver locked up man for man on Taylor, as they so often do over on the side of Deion Sanders. He usually plays the man for man side. They try combinations on the other side, but In that case, Shiver got himself locked up on Taylor while Shiver took the flanker on a deep down and in.
That's twice now, though, for Auburn. We've seen big plays where Reggie Slack was able to break contain, moving to his right.
It's 3rd and 1 instead of 3rd and 6, and Danley has a first down as he takes it to the 13-yard line with 2.5 minutes to play in the first half. The first half, it has completely flip-flopped.
Oh, it's flip-flopped. It's flip-flopped in the last 4 minutes. 4 minutes ago, who would have thought that we'd be in a position this quickly that Auburn is threatening to take the lead?
Well, 2 things happened for the Tigers. Number 1, Florida State attempted that fake field goal. Auburn was able to knock it down. They didn't give up any points on that drive. On the subsequent drive, they held them to a field goal, which in turn was a small victory of sorts for Auburn. And now the offense is taken over.
And keeping it together, they haven't panicked at all, and they're moving.
They haven't scored yet either.
1st and 10, and Slack drops the football. It's loose at the 19, and the Seminoles have it on Auburn's 4th turnover.
Pat Dye, I'm sure, cannot believe what he's seeing.
Well, he saw it last year at Auburn when they coughed it up 6 times. Gabbard with the recovery.
Sheldon Thompson, the linebacker, number 93. Slack trying to get away, trying to look into the end zone. There's Thompson.
He really runs into his own man. Rodney Garner, the right guard, collides with Reggie Slack, and it's on that collision that the ball comes loose.
I got my brother this great present for his new baby. It's this incredible new Magnavox camcorder. It's so light sensitive, it actually lets me take pictures of Sarah at night. And it's fully automatic. With this Magnavox camcorder, I get great pictures in daylight or practically no light. That's smart. Yeah, but I still don't know how you could take pictures in the dark. Simply, you just turn off the lights. Oh.
Magnavox. Smart choice. Very smart.
America was built on dreams, and business is the key. We ensure where America works, we're USF&G. From the mountains ledge to the ocean's edge, we insure you every day. We protect what America's made of. We cover the USA.
In 1973, the Alabama Crimson Tide came to the Sugar Bowl ranked number 1, but they trailed Notre Dame 24-23 late in the 4th quarter when this Tom Clements completion enabled the Irish to run out the clock to end the game and upset Bear Bryant's top-ranked Tide. Final score, 24-23, Notre Dame.
Look to the left of your screen. That senior guard, Rodney Garner, watch his hand knock the ball out of the hand of Reggie Slack. His left hand hits the ball and knocks it loose. Slack never even sees Garner. Garner's attempting to get over there and make a block. That's horrible luck for Auburn.
Garner knocks it loose and a face mask on his own guy as well on the same play.
You really can't fault Reggie Slack there. He's looking downfield. He doesn't expect to get hit by his own guy, and you can't fault Garner. He's just hustling.
1st and 10, and Ferguson puts it up and hits the fullback, Dane Williams, and he's out of bounds at the 27-yard line. Now, as Florida State tries to move it down the field, keep in mind, they've taken 2 timeouts already. They have 1 left. Meanwhile, at the Orange Bowl in Miami, the Hurricanes routing Nebraska at halftime, 20-0. Steve Walsh is thrown for 2 touchdowns. Second down and 2.
We had a lot to add to that, didn't we?
Yeah, right at the 27. Smith out to the 31-yard line. Ron Stallworth in on the tackle. Well, not much more you can say when it's 20-0. Right?
Well, you know, isn't it funny how everybody has games to look back to? Auburn, of course, looking back to their 7-6 loss to LSU. Miami clearly looking back to their loss against Notre Dame in Notre Dame. West Virginia will have their season ruined by a loss to Notre Dame. Some long winners around the country as people look back.
Both these teams 10-1. You better believe they've looked back at those individual losses.
And that one Auburn lost by only a point as Smith picks up close to 6 out at the 37-yard line. Again, if you pick this up late, Auburn comes into the game 7th ranked in both wire service polls, and Florida State 4th.
Auburn, of course, losing to LSU, as we said before, 7-6. But they gave up the lead. They were leading 6-0 with 1:36 remaining in that game.
How about this score? Auburn was a 6-point underdog.
You're right. They know everything. The 37-yard line, a reverse, and Dawsey gets just about back to the line of scrimmage, which is the 37-yard line. He is stopped there by Quentin Riggins, and we're down under a minute now to play in the first half in the USF&G Sugar Bowl.
And we haven't had an instant replay yet. Nor will we.
Or a reversal.
Kind of a treat. Or an inadvertent whistle.
No, that's right. Whatever inadvertent means.
And everything has been conclusive.
I can't even spell it. Either one of those two.
Third down, call it 4.
They had a little shudder when we went by the 2-minute sign also.
Right.
All right, no 2-minute warning.
We're down to 25 seconds, and Sammy Smith fights his way only to the 40-yard line, short of the first down. Quentin Riggins makes the tackle. And unless Auburn stops the clock here with a timeout, the first half will be over. And the clock keeps on ticking down. Looks like Pat Dye is ready to... He was ready, it appeared, to call a timeout, and now decides, well...
He'd like to get Deion Sanders on a punt return if he could. He's the best in the nation. He thought better of it.
Yep. So it is halftime. And the first half that initially belonged very much to Florida State. Auburn then getting back into the game. And it ends with a 6-point differential. Florida State at the half leading the Auburn Tigers 13-7. And we'll return to the Superdome in New Orleans after this message and a word from your local station.